beginning of the Olympic Games were a considerable success, especially for the Nazi propaganda wing. There was Riefenstahl's film in the making. Zeppelins were used to carry the results of German victories, who were winning the most medals overall. Things are humming along smoothly until Jesse Owens comes along.
The men's long jump.
Hitler has great faith that his star long jumper is going to take the gold medal.
Lutz Long. He was one of those rare athletic happenings you come to recognize after years of competition. And he had been groomed his entire life for this Olympiad and this single event. The broad jump trials gave each athlete 3 tries to make a qualifying distance of 23.5 feet. I hadn't gone a foot less than that, practice or otherwise, since high school.
All he has to do is jump 23.5 feet to qualify for the final and move on and look for another gold medal. So he does like a little practice jaunt through the pit. And they call him for a foul. And he's clearly just practicing. And they're like, no, that's a foul. You can't just, run through the pit. That counts. So he's now unnerved.
I'd been careless. Forget it, I said to myself. You fouled before, and there's still 2 jumps left.
He fouls again. And at that point, anybody can get nervous.
I'd gone over the takeoff board. I couldn't believe it.
You're running 40 meters, trying to hit one board in the right body position at the right time is really challenging. You've got the pressure of the Olympics. And if you don't make this jump, then it gets Hitler, gets all these people to chance to say, Cedar, I knew he couldn't handle it.
Jesse Owens is down to one last chance.
It cannot end like this. Suddenly, I felt a hand on my shoulder. It was Lutz Long. The way his hand rested on my shoulder made me know somehow that he was far from being my enemy. I think I know what is wrong with you, he said in broken English. You're afraid you will foul again. I've been there myself, and I have the answer.
Ohio State's phenomenal Jesse Owens again takes the spotlight. It's his last try, and it's got to be good.
I jogged over to the runway, refocusing my jump on the towel he had placed in front of the takeoff board, and began my run without fear. When I came down, it was more than 26 feet, nearly an Olympic record. On the verge of fouling out and maybe blowing my entire Olympiad, Lutz, one of Hitler's Nazis, changed everything for me at his own expense.
The men's long jump final. The great Negro athlete Jesse Owens of America is up against the German Lutz Long. 7.54 meters.
His first leap took the lead.
7.74 meters.
I beat it.
7.84 meters.
His second of 3 was even better,
7.87 meters.
and I beat that by half an inch.
They had had this spectacular competition going back and forth for the gold medal. It really is this incredible drama. But eventually, Jesse outlasts Lutz Long.
Fate was against him. Lutz looked up from the pit to see the red flag waving. He had fouled, and I had won. But victory is the sweetest when you win it on your own merits. I still had 1 jump left, and I wanted it to be remembered. Lutz deserved my very best, and I still had more to give.
8.06 meters.
A new Olympic record. I had jumped farther than any man on earth. After the scene with Hitler and the near disaster in the broad jump, the man that had saved me from that raced over to me and led me towards the crowd.
The visual of this is really dramatic. Here they were, joined arm in arm. This wasn't supposed to be on display.
In the context of the Hitler Olympics, it was a beautiful moment, but it also shows what the Olympics should really be about.
It is the opposite of the Hitler snub story. A Black American grandson of slaves competing against this model of Aryan youth, and how in that moment, instead of being adversaries, they became brothers. It's a story that Jesse later in his life returned to again and again.
We built a friendship and we corresponded with one another for a number of years. Then the war broke out. And then I didn't hear any more from him at all.
Ultimately, in World War II, Lutz Long is killed in battle.
My father was sent a letter from Lutz. In it, he says, would you promise that you will go find my son and tell him what kind of person I was?
In 1951, I had the privilege of meeting his son. And after showing the pictures and letters that he had in the scrapbook that I had written his father, well, as a result of that, today I am now corresponding with the son.
Well, Jesse, you've been a very important part of my life, and I've very often seen pictures from you and the photographs of my father.
I've experienced many moments in the sun, but perhaps the most rewarding was to have Lutz Long beside me on the winner's platform.